This is the panel Chilemúsica presents the Chilean music market, export, associativity and data. I am Cristóbal, Dañobeitía, the director of the Digital Observatory for Chilean Music, and here we are with Oliver Knust, the director of Chilemúsica. And so you recently see a video of Chile and the sounds of Chile, and Oliver, I want to ask you, how is Chile, if you want to make an abstract of that?
Yeah, thank you, Daño. Daño is the nickname from my friend here. Chile is the longest country in the world. Very thin, but very long. It's a small market. We only are 17 million population. We have a lot of different climates or weather. We have the driest desert in the world, and on the bottom, on the south, we have the Antarctica. So it's a very diverse country. As you see in the video, you can see the landscapes. And also, it's very diverse in terms of music. We have borders with Peru and Bolivia that is music more influenced by tribes like the Quechua or the Aymaras that lives in the Altiplano of Los Andes, and in the south more influenced by our cross with the Argentinians and the landscapes of the Patagonia. So it's a country that is a little bit different that you can imagine in South America. We are not like caliente tropical music like Colombia or Puerto Rico. Is pretty different. Our winter is pretty cold. People are shy, and we have a very, very small territory between the mountains and the Pacific Ocean, so we are kind of isolated here.
And what do you think is Chile is an attractive market for the music industry? So we see in the beginning like a lot of information of data, but more in your qualitative insights. Do you think Chile is a great market, not only for the economy, but for which kind of genre in music, for example?
Well, Chile, we made a couple of studies, 4 studies, about the perception of the Chilean music outside our country, and it shows that Chile doesn't have a particular genre that identified our music, like Argentina that might be tango, or Brazil might be bossa nova. We don't have that, and our main artists like Violeta Parra or Los Jaivas, that are folklore music with a little kind of fusion with other genres, they are not well known in the world like Carlos Gardel or other great figures from the Latin music, from tango, or Caetano Veloso from Brazil. So we have a lot of diversity of music, very modern music, competing in Europe or in the North American market. So we have to take advantage of our diversity, our access to information, to invest, because as you are going to tell us afterwards, we have more access to buy instruments. The Chilean economy is more dynamic than the rest of the region, it's more stable. So we are very proud to show stability. That's why, for example, Lollapalooza landed in Chile the first country in the region before anyone else 10 years ago.
And do you think that this is related with the creation of the trademark Chilemúsica? What is Chilemúsica? What the people can expect in China from the Chilemúsica trademark?
Well, Chilemúsica is an export music office or an export music brand that help us, well, obviously export the music, but more than that, to tell the other markets, to explain what Chile is, and to have permanent promotion for Chilean music abroad our frontiers. As we were telling before, Chile is like an isolated country in South America, is at the top of the south of the map, at the bottom, and it's very thin. If we want to walk to Argentina, it's impossible because there's a huge chain of mountains like the Himalayas that doesn't allow you to go anywhere that you think is pretty near, but it isn't. And the Pacific Ocean at the other side is Australia. So it's a very isolated country with a very small population that oblige us to export. It's the only chance to live through music here. We cannot tour the country. We cannot sell or stream our music to the people that lives in here. So one attribute that Chile shows is that it's very associative. So we have a couple of trade associations that communicate between each other. Our trade association is called IMI Chile. It represents the independent sector of record labels and represent the vast production of new music here. And through this trade association, we participate in, for example, other trade associations worldwide like WIN, but also we represent here the Chilean independent music in the Ministry of Culture, in the Collector Society, in the export music, in the export office from the whole government that is called Pro Chile. So we have a representative in every chair that we need to be over here, and that is very valuable because in the region it's very hard to find one voice to speak about the sector, and that's why we have Chilemúsica, because as a trade association we showed that we have a solid representative here in Chile. Also we have a strategy for going to export to other markets, and also, for example, we can collaborate with initiatives like the Observatory. We represent Music Declares Emergency to have another initiative on the medio ambiente, environment issues. We have our own conference. So it's a very good thing that we are very collaborative, associative, and that's why Chilean music industry is looked outside like a trustable industry.
So something that is important to export music or to show like Chile is like capable to export and also to receive investment from other countries for the music industry is trying to have information to see if this that we are talking about is kind of real or not, have some parameters to compare in the future. So I want to speak you a little bit about the project of the Digital Observatory of Chilean Music. This is a project that is guided from the Guild of Tech Companies for Music, Mustache it's called, but it's also working with other trade associations like IMI Chile, also the export office of the Chilean government, the Ministry of Culture, and the Recollection Society. So it's a project very interesting. It was born 2 years ago, and it's an online platform. The platform is called ODMC.cl. You can go right now if you want to see. And actually this is very important because maybe if you are very far from Chile, you can analyze a little bit of information of our country here. We have a database of 3,700 artists. So we have some numbers of Spotify, our performance in Spotify. We have to say that Spotify is the more biggest platform for streaming here in Chile. So it's probably 80 or 90% of the representative of the platforms. And so we can show and we analyze the information during the time. So as you can see, we have some kind of rankings. For example, he's one of the Mon Laferte is one of our more famous artists right now. So you can see some numbers of she, but also you can see with which kind of other artists she's related. So that's very important because you can also travel from our page to another kind of artist that are also sometimes Chilean or sometimes Mexican or other kind of relations. The relations between the artist that you are seeing right there is make about from Spotify data, so it's not our algorithm, so we are only showing this, but also you can play, for example, 30 seconds for musicians that you play here. You can hear 30 seconds for any of his songs. So this is like an instrument to you that are so far to explore a little bit the music, the Chilean music industry. And it's very, I hope it's very easy to use, maybe not, but we try this. It's a long project. You can also do comparisons between different kind of artists. You can follow them in a period of time to see if the followers change, of the listeners also change, etc. So it's a very like deep information. You can also see who is the people who are rising or the emergent artists, like week by week. So it's very interesting because you can catch the new artists, but very before the media or the television or the paper, the newspaper say it. So it's something very important. Also we do research. So we have a lot of information of that, and we want to show you a little bit about our kind of information that we recollect during the year. We call it the annually characterization of the music industry. So one of our first aim is trying to make a segmentation of the different kind of nuclear actions that we see in the ecosystem. So we have the recorded music, the live music, representatives, formation and education, state entities, mass media, and music creators, of course, and also retail. So we see that these 8 nuclear activities are the main ecosystem of the music industry. And so this is a methodological issue that we work for several years. Now, for example, we have some information about the live industry. They fall 90% because of the pandemic of the COVID-19. So it was very difficult for the live industry economy. They sell a lot of tickets. They have a much more, like 4 million of sell tickets during the year. So it's a very important industry, like have a lot of money, making money during the year, but with the pandemic was a little bit difficult for them. So for the first time we do some research about that. Then we have we have a research about music and technology. We know that music and technology also here in Chile is very special because we have the first guild of music companies that are associated in the whole region. So it's the first of his kind in the region in Latin America. And we saw that there's a lot of very good examples of how the music and technology is like something that enchains or maybe like make greater the ecosystem and the music. For example, Sweden is a very solid ecosystem of music and technology. Actually, 60% of the investment in 2015 was only for the music tech industry. So that's very 60% of the whole investment in the country. So we are looking for that examples, and we are trying to go there also. And so we are studying this kind of different information about music and technology. We have, for example, only 12% has permanent or indefinite contracts, so it's very informal. Actually, we have a big gap in gender equity. We have a big gap also in investment, etc. But we are working on that. And then we have, of course, one of the most important industry in the music ecosystem, that is the recorded music. So Chile is the #1 in Latin America when we analyze the income per capita for the recorded music. So we have more than 800 or near to 800 released from record labels annually. We also have a lot of new companies that are created. Actually, Chile is a very young market in some way, but very, very growing very fast and very consolidated. So it's composed between very, very small labels, but much of them, actually in Chile you have more than 60 labels.
Yeah.
And that's something that probably in other countries is not the same. So I think that Chile has this advantage. And as Oliver said before, Chile is a very solid economy in the region. So we have money to buy music in some way. So that's very important. And so one of the things that I think is important in this kind of project, actually this kind of digital observatory, I think is the only project in this category in the region, and probably in, I don't want to say in the world.
No, we know about creative industry observatories, but not only focus in music. And maybe you can tell a little bit more about the genesis of the project, that who is investing in it, what is called for, and who are involved. You are building now a board for continuing the project after the government's money ends, please.
Yes, initially we have some different kind of intents or main of action to make information, but the information was made from the same agents. It says, for example, IMI Chile or
we did our first report 5 years ago.
Yes, the first report was 5 years ago. We do it also together.
Yeah.
And so it was like not formally or mediated by an expert entity. In that case, it was like paid for a company. My company do it, and it was like. But the observatory was thinking different from the beginning. The initiative is trying to have a public good for all the Chilean people, in the sense that we are creating information that has a free access. So that's very important, and it's regulated or is directed for different associations, so they can show the necessity of them, and we can get the necessities and transform them in research.
There's a governance.
There's a governance. The governance, all the people in the governance have to make a small investment in the project year by year, not so big. And so it's because of them that we can support as a public good the results of the observatory. And that is very interesting, because I think it was one of the first time, or maybe the first time, to see people very different in the same table.
Public and private.
And it was, for example, I don't know, the Recollector Society with the labels at the same time, and to discuss about numbers.
Yeah.
So it was a different strategy, because usually people sit down in the same table to talk about politics or different.
Or for one thing in specific, and then the meeting is over.
Like an event, etc.
No continuity.
But the information have something that is very interesting, that is objective, is not like mediated or doesn't have intentions. So it's something that promote to see people that maybe don't want to sit together or don't have the time to analyze the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very key changing developer for the music industry in Chile. And I see that, for example, other industries that are much more richer, for example, Mexico or Brazil, doesn't have maybe this kind of so solid initiatives.
Yeah. And it was a coincidence, maybe a bad one, but still, the observatory was working 2 years ago. It was announced the project, and it's a long project and it's difficult, and it was coincidentally released during the pandemic. So please tell us about how was that for the sector, because for the first time we had numbers in a crisis period, a disaster period actually.
Yeah, that was funny, because at the beginning we think that we already know that we don't have so much information about the music industry, because the information that we have, for example, for the government is more related to audience, much near to cultural consuming or cultural audience, but not from the market or the professionals.
Yeah.
So we don't have any information. But when the pandemic started, we all the people start to call the observatory to say, do you have any information about things very basic, like how much money wants an artist, a label, how many people work in a label, etc. So for me it was like very impressive that for the first time we saw the necessity, like the need in the real, not in the theoretic, or not from the people who are from the music, or maybe we have interest on this. And so this make a rush for us, because we have to run to have a diagnosis of the impact of the COVID-19 in the music industry. So we make a research very faster. We have a very good response, like 2000 for example, that for the Chilean market it's good. And for the first time we realized that we live in a very precarious and fragile economic structure. So for example, artists in Chile want less than $200, near to $200 monthly, only for music. So it's very, very low. But at the same time, we discover other things, that, for example, labels are growing up very fast, and we have a lot of diversity of labels. Maybe 60, for example, with 5 or 6 people working on each label. That is, it's not so bad. So we start to contrast very kind of different. For the first time, the live industry come to us to need information. Before that, the live industry was very isolated because they were very economically solid. So they don't need to make instant with the government or need information to say something. So that was very interesting. And so I think that the population realized that the information is a good instrument to negotiate with the government, to analyze, to make decisions, public and private.
Well, for us, for the trade associations and to Chilemúsica, it's very important to have a tool like the Observatory, because when we have to talk about something, we have numbers, something concrete, not speculation about how much money does the industry moves, how fragile the ecosystem for the musicians are. That is a social issue that we have to show the government too, and we have to make laws for an industry that doesn't work like the other ones. This is art, this is also an itinerant type of industry. Other countries have their own policies about it. And well, the thing is, Chile is showing to the region also how this works. The observatory is now taking care of a regional experience or initiative called the OLMI, Observatorio Latinoamericano de Música Independiente, that's going to show data about the other countries on the region. And well, Chile is very proud to have this instrument, and we are also very keen to know about what you think about it. Cristóbal is looking forward to do business outside Chile, outside the region. China is an amazing technology developing country. They are the monster on the world about. So we are very happy to be in this conference talking about this project. And well, we don't have questions because we record this before. But we speak in Spanish over here. If you find a little bit weird our English, it's because we are making our best effort. And well, our emails are going to be somewhere in the conference, maybe in the screen, I don't know. And please take the freedom to contact us. I'm Oliver, he's Cristóbal from the Observatory, and we are saying hello from the south of the world, from Chile. Thank you, IMX, for the invitation. Please feel free to ask everything that you want. We are here for that. So
yes, try to visit our webpage of the Digital Observatory of Chilean Music. Is odmc.cl. You can subscribe it. It's now probably is in Spanish, but maybe you have an automated translation in your navigator. But at the same time, if you can interact with them and subscribe, you can be online of the newest things that we're going to do. Also invite you to visit our regional observatory. That's the Latin American Music Observatory. It's called OLMI.LA.
Yeah, if you want to know a little bit more about the other countries over here, especially focusing the phonographic sector, the record labels, the independent record labels, that is a huge project that is going to show its report at the end of the year in December.
Yes, in December you can go there, so please go to the webpage also and subscribe, and please contact us if you have any question. We are of course open to that. We love to go to China the next year.
Yeah.
I know China actually. I traveled one time in 2017.
Oh.
I go to Shenzhen, Shanghai and Beijing.
Yeah.
It's very incredible. The relation between the developer of technology for different industry. They have a lot of maker space, they call, in each kind of quarter. So it's like very interesting, the innovation ecosystem in China. I think that they can do things very potent in the music industry. So please contact us also with the Music Guild of Technology here. There's Mustache, etc. So very interesting connection.
Yeah, thank you. Ciao, ciao from Chile. Bye bye.